Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel Curiosity Rocks, and this is a BookTube to tell you to get this series which I'm a total fangirl of. So it is the Chronicles of St Mary's series by Jodi Taylor, and there's actually 7 books in the series, but I got a box set deal off, well, it wasn't a box set, it was like a bundle deal off marketplace seller on Amazon, so I shall be ordering the 7th book. And I've read the first 2 and it is amazing, and I want a TV series to be made out of this series because it is so amazing. So this review is probably going to be a more incoherent review because it's just amazing. It's like So this is the first book, so I'll read out the first description, but I can't read out the second description without spoiling the first book. So, a madcap new slant on history that seems to be everyone's cup of tea. Behind the seemingly innocuous facade of St Mary's, a different kind of historical research is taking place. They don't do time travel, they investigate major historical events in contemporary time. Maintaining the appearance of harmless eccentrics is not always within their power, especially given their propensity for causing loud explosions when things get too quiet. Meet the disaster magnates of St Mary's Institute of Historical Research as they ricochet around history. Their aim is to observe and document, to try and find the answers to many of history's unanswered questions, and not to die in the process. But one wrong move and history will fight back to the death, and as they soon discover, it's not just history they're fighting. Follow the catastrophe curve from 11th century London to World War I, and from the Cretaceous period to the destruction of the Great Library at Alexandria. For wherever historians go, chaos is sure to follow in their wake. So this is an awesome book. If you like Doctor Who, then I think you'll love this, because they have pods which are sort of TARDISes, but they're not actually bigger on the inside. So they have these pods that they go backwards in time in, and their main idea of them going backwards in time is to observe what actually happened, so they can present their research to the back in their own time to this place called Thirsk, who is the history place, and so Thirsk can like get all the glory and that they've so accurate at reciting what history is like. And then in this first book they go find dinosaurs so they can do a very accurate presentation on dinosaurs. But there's like no rest when you're reading this series. It's like, you know, I had to do it as an action. You know, some books is like, this book series is just till the end of the book. So I do think you might want to get some shorter books to intersperse between each book of the series so you can have a breather, because it is pretty exhausting. It's quite graphic. It's like sort of themed Doctor Who, but it reads more like Torchwood, and it's mostly about history in the first book, but then in the second book there does include some like conceptions of a monster, so it's not totally straight history. There is certain element of fantasy in it too, but it's really good because there is a lot of historical information that whether it's totally accurate. I don't think matters, but there is like loads of things about what went on in history and why the guys are going back to that point, and it's just amazing, and I love this book. I think it would make an amazing TV series or movies, but well, I suppose movies would be good, but I think a TV series would be even better because it's so amazing. It's like Unit. If you're a Doctor Who fan, it's like Unit and Torchwood mixed together, but they're a lot more incompetent. And there is a sort of character who is sort of the character who represents history, and she's like this mystical person. So there is a certain bit that's a bit like when the Doctor was stuck at Unit, and it's pretty complicated to explain the plot. You just have to get it and read it because it's amazing, and I love all the characters. It is told in first person through the historian called Madeline Maxwell, otherwise known as Max. Historian in her late 20s, short, red-haired, engaging, impatient, self-deprecating, with a murky past and a precarious future. So at the front of the book you get a list of the people in each book, and it includes the regulars and any new people that are turning up. So I guess I can read these out without spoiling too much. So, and it says Dramatis Thingummy. Dr. Edward Bairstow is director of St Mary's, tall, authoritative, early 50s, holds together a volatile mix of technicians, historians, kitchen staff, security teams, and the sometimes explosive research and development section. Mrs. Partridge, PA to director, not to be crossed. Historians, as well as Madeline Maxwell, there is Tim Peterson, historian, late 20s, tall and shaggy, a good friend. Calinda Black, historian, blonde and blue-eyed, looks like a Disney princess, possibly drinks the blood of recently qualified trainees, recipient of Mr. Dieter's affection. Sussman, Max's fellow trainees are Sussman, Grant, Rutherford, Stevens, Nagley and Jordan. Technical section, Leon Farrell, Chief Technical Officer in his mid-30s, dark hair, blue eyes, competent, calm, quiet, and he is actually Max's love interest, but it's not soppy or anything. It's like really cool and funny, and you really feel for it, because it's very bumpy road with their romance. So, and you do get heartbroken when things go wrong between them. So it's not like really soppy or silly. It's really cool. And then there's also Mr. Dieter, Farrell's number 2, built like a brick shit, a very large young man, and she almost swore in that bit because this list I think is meant to be written by Max. Medical team, Dr. Helen Foster, early 30s, medical doctor and with the people skills of Vlad the Impaler, recipient of Mr. Peterson's affections. Nurse Hunter, recipient of Markham's dubious affections. Security section is Major Ian Guthrie, head of security and whose unenviable task it is to keep St Mary's safe, despite all their best efforts, late 30s. Mr. Markham, security guard, small, grubby and disaster-prone, reputedly indestructible, which is just as well. Mr. Whistle, nasty piece of work. Big Dave, made-up, gentle giant. Research and development is Professor Rapson, head of R&D, age unknown, lives in his own world, responsible for the destruction of the clock tower and the disastrous Icarus experiment, apparently unaware of the properties of methane. Dr. Dowson, librarian and archivist, age unknown, also not quite up to speed, methane. IT, Isabella Barclay, head of IT, professional bitch, short, spiteful and red-headed. Gossip says she harbours an unrequited passion for Farrell. Polly Perkins, technician. Others, Mrs. Mack, kitchen supremo, mid-40s. Jenny Fields, kitchen assistant and dodo advocate. Mrs. De Winter, retired schoolteacher. Turk, officially a horse. The villain, Clive Ronan, dark, nondescript, impassive and deadly. Plus, assorted armies, raptors, stonemasons, and hostile contemporaries too numerous to mention. So, it's packed full of characters and there's like no room to breathe because you start a chapter and they're planning a jump, because that's what they call when they go in the pods. They're planning a jump and then you get to the next chapter. In the previous chapter, you're really confident, it's going to be amazing. And then you get to the next chapter and it says everything went wrong. It's like, oh, I've got to find out what happened. And it's amazing. And I like the repetitiveness because whenever they jump in the pod, it says the world went white, and I quite like the repetitiveness of when they jump in these pods. And it's amazing. So I've read the first and the second book. And in between these books I've read a short story, and then I went on to the second book. I am going to read another shorter book and then go on to the third book. And I just love. I hope this series continues on past book 7. I really do, because it's amazing. And it's like it is like one of the books where you can miss the characters in between reading them, and it's like, oh, I want to go back to see them and stuff. And I just love these books. They're just amazing, and I totally recommend them. So I recommend to just get all of them, because I just love all these books. They're amazing. So Jodi Taylor, I think you're an amazing writer, and it's so funny. I guess the age range for this is perhaps 16 plus, there is gore. It is gory and it is sexual, but it's not really any more graphic than, say, Torchwood, really. But it is really good. It's amazing, and I love it, and it's so cool. I totally recommend them. So I totally recommend the Chronicles of St. Mary's series by Jodi Taylor. They are brilliant and total fangirl, and I really want them to do a TV show or a movie, but preferably TV show. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. Yay!